Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I want to say hi to everybody that's coming into the chat. As you know, in this space, we believe in trying to become more intelligent and learning how the world works and becoming better Black people. And also, we live by the B1 philosophy. B1 means that we are here to solve our own problems first. We're not solving everybody else's problems. We're going to solve our own problems, and we're going to do it ourselves. B1 also means that we believe that Black people can be number one when it comes to wealth building, education, and everything else in the next 50 years. B1 also means that we understand we must be one to be successful. And that means having healthy relationships with each other as we live through the trauma that so many of us have experienced as Black people in this country. So if you agree with that philosophy, put a B1 in the chat, hashtag B1, use hashtag B1 anywhere on social media when you're having real Black conversations. So I'm super excited today to introduce our guests. Our guests are Dr. Veronica and Glen Brooks. And they are stars in a new film that we put together, directed by Tiara KJ Williams, called Til Death Do Us Part. And they are here to talk about what it really takes to make it work. You know, y'all getting a whole lot of advice from a whole lot of people on the internet, been through 8 divorces, 8 mamas, you know. Yeah, seriously, if y'all letting those people give y'all relationship advice, well, I'm going to tell y'all what I do. I'm going to tell you what I do. I go to the OGs. I go to the people who graduated from the school of life, the school of hard knocks, the people that actually showed and proved that they can actually endure the challenges of a relationship. So I go to people like Dr. Veronica and Glen Brooks. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Dr. Can I say Glen and Veronica? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's best. Yes.
Okay. I'd like to ask the Brooks. How are y'all doing today?
Oh man, we're doing great.
Doing good. Seeing you is great. So that's even better. Because you're excellent at the financial arena, which I learned so much from you to be successful in that area.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And actually, I'm gonna get into that too, because a lot of people always ask me, they don't understand why, as a financial person, why I talk about relationships. They're like, "What are you talking about? You don't know nothing about no relationships." One of the things I tell them is that when you're talking about things like making money or achieving goals, your ability to maintain healthy relationships is critical to that. And so I'd like to ask, just so we can get some feel for your background and your story, how long have you two been married?
38 years.
38 years.
Yes.
Working on 39. December 30th.
Is that 1983? Is that when we got
82.
married? 82. Okay. What's the anniversary date?
The 30th, December.
December 30th, 1982. So I'm gonna ask everybody in the chat, how many of y'all were alive in December 30th, 1982? How many of y'all can remember 1982? Now I remember, I'm 50, so 1982. I remember it was a good year. I was 11 years old in the 6th grade. How many of y'all even remember 1982? Because we got people out here that can't be married, can't stay in a relationship longer than 19 minutes and 82 seconds. How many of y'all remember 1982? And how many of y'all wasn't even born yet? See, Muhammad says I was born after that. So I wanted Mr. and Mrs. Brooks to come in here and school some of the young folks on what it means to have said that you've endured marriage since 1982. So let's just start there. Where'd you get married?
Actually, it was Beeville, Texas, a little bitty small town here in Texas. You'll miss it on the map if you don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Really?
But I dragged her into the deal.
Yeah, he did.
He was running, but I ran after her.
Yeah, I was really nervous too. And Dr. Boyce, you know what? He didn't even really ask me to marry him. He said, because why should I have to ask for something that's already mine? I was like, wait a minute. So he's fooling me. I'm trying to really back out. But then I went on and did it.
But Dr. Boyce, what she thought she saw Denzel Washington. So what I did, I just did a little smooth operating before he walked in the courthouse. I said, baby, I'm your Denzel.
You know, he does something with his lips, and he does something with he got that walk. For some reason, they love
he got that walk. I love Denzel, especially I can't visualize. Oh my God.
So let me ask. So you two, you know, I know my parents have been married for 47 years. I mean, shout out to everybody who's watching, who's been married for a long time. And one thing my father always said was that when he saw my mother, he knew that was going to be his wife. Like to this day, he says, I saw that woman. I told my friend, I'm going to marry that woman. Was it like that for you, Mr. Brooks?
I'm going to tell you the truth about the story. Actually, I was 16 years old. She was 14 when I first met her, and it was church night. I was late going to church. We're supposed to be at Bible study. So once we got into Bible study, I sat all the way in the back, and I was trying to figure out where they was at in the Bible study. And then, lo and behold, like I tell my wife all the time, we kind of laugh at it. I heard God's voice. He said, look in the right corner. And I looked up there. Oh, my God, Dr. Boyce Watkins. I saw that woman. I said, and instantaneously, I said, that's my wife.
Wow.
It was crazy.
And I didn't know that, you know, because I was new there because I went from Albuquerque to Oklahoma City because my dad was sick and then my sister needed help and things like that. So they sent me to go stay with my sibling, my sister, and then ended up going to her church. And, you know, Glenn was such a gentleman. He came and like introduced me because I was so shy and timid, you know, because I was in a new environment and everything. But he came and introduced himself to me, and he was just, you know, talking so smooth at a young age. I was only 14. He was 16. Then we began to, you know, talk more and then go on, you know, dinner dates and, you know, what was that? The chocolate park. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the chocolate park.
Yeah, we had this favorite place that it's called Chocolate. We named it Chocolate Park because inside the park, everything in the park was brown. I'm talking about the merry-go-round, the swing, the slide, you name it was brown. So we called it Chocolate Park. That was our little hangout place. We just sit there and talk.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
But he was a gentleman. He never touched me. He never had sex with me. He never kissed me, you know, stuff like that. We just talked. And I talked about my dad all the time because I missed him a whole lot. But yeah,
you missed him. Your father died when you were young. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
My father, he got really sick. He started having heart attacks and strokes, and everybody knew that I was really, really close to him. So that was really one reason why they wanted me to go stay with my sister. So
wow.
he was there listening and to me about my dad because I really miss my dad. So.
And I always tell people I was her new daddy.
Well, so your daddy would approve. Your daddy would approve of Glenn.
Oh yeah.
I actually got to speak to him before he passed.
Before he passed.
And what he told me, he said, "Take care of my daughter," and that stuck with me. It's just because I already knew, like I said, I was ambitious about what I wanted, and I made sure.
I see. You know what?
I apprehended her and didn't let her go.
Well, everybody who's watching, I'm speaking with Glen and Veronica Brooks, and they are in the new film that we just made called Til Death Do Us Part. And Tiara KJ Williams directed this film, and Tiara wanted to do this project because we felt that Black people could use some good guidance on relationships and how to form them and how to maintain them. You know, the things like the war on drugs and the crack era and all that, it obliterated our families, and we're determined to rebuild that. And so that's why we made this film, and it took us 2 years to finish this project. And shout out to Tiara KJ Williams. And what I really want everybody to consider as you hit the thumbs up button and things like that is to understand that when you're trying to learn how to do something, you want to talk to the people that have been successful at what you're trying to do. A lot of people can wave their arms and talk a good game, but talk is cheap compared to action. And this couple has put in the work. 38 years, got married December 30th, 1982. So let me ask you all this question. So so you got married. How old were you when you got married?
18. I was 18, I think 19. I think something like that.
I think it was.
Yeah, we don't know. We were young.
Yeah, I think I was 19.
No, we don't know.
I was 19. I think.
Yeah, we were out of high school in our teens.
Okay, and so you got married really young, and was everybody okay with that? Like, because I know it seemed like back then getting married super young was pretty common. Was that pretty common in the space that you grew up in?
I'm not for sure.
You know, because I was actually living by myself. I was in my own, at the time. So when he came and got me, he got me. Yeah, you came and got me, right? We're talking on the phone all the time. Actually, yeah, you were singing and talking to me all the time on the phone. But he when he came and got me, that's when he said, we're just gonna go ahead and get married. And everybody, they didn't really know until after the fact, I believe, because we eloped. We went to the courthouse. We didn't have like a big giant wedding most people. We just went to the courthouse and got married, and that was it.
Really?
So,
okay.
We didn't give anyone the opportunity to say yay or nay.
Really? Oh wow! So y'all just made the move then. It wasn't about trying to get approval from everybody. You knew that's what you wanted to do. And how many kids have you had, if I may ask?
What was that again, Dr. Boyce?
Oh, sorry. How many children?
We have 3 and 8 grandchildren.
Really? Okay. So 3 children, 8 grandchildren. All right. And let me ask you this, more candid question. What did you think? Was there ever a time where you didn't know that you might make it 38 years?
Oh, most definitely. Man, I wanted to walk out. I wanted to leave. He got on my nerves. I was like, no, I cannot do this. That so many times, so many arguments. And the main thing I can say, when you love somebody, you really got to look at yourself, because I had a bad habit of pointing at him for everything. I pointed at him, it's like, your fault. This is your fault, especially when we got into the money issue, that was a big thing as well. But one thing I know, you have to look at yourself. Right. And I looked at nobody but Veronica, and it was a desperate cry out for me to change my attitude, because I did have a pretty bad attitude. But when I changed my attitude, I noticed even my whole family changed. It seemed like everybody was more calm and everybody was not so intense. But when this one time, because on the financial side of it, oh boy, that was really hard, because we went through a bad period there, and I got really upset, and I was ready to just pack my bags up and leave. But I had to make a choice, because everybody is not perfect, and I had to make a choice to either build my husband up or either tear him down. More than already. So I made a choice to build him up. So I start seeking out financial ways to build him up. I start meeting people. I had got mentors. I then, later, found you, Dr. Boyce. I found, it was just a lot of things that I had to go out there and do, because I made a choice to build them up. So when I start generating that wealth, I shared it with my husband, and to encourage him instead of beat him down, since he was already down. It didn't make sense to beat him down.
And one of the things I'd like to add to that, there was a period in my life where we actually had opened up a computer store. And again, most men, we want to be the caretaker of the house. We want to do everything. And even if we're struggling, we just don't share everything with our wives. Yeah. But I tell you what, You don't want to ever make that mistake. Make sure you're transparent with your wife. So during that first recession, I think it was in 87?
Oh, I can't remember.
1980.
You know, I'm terrible at dates.
Was it 87 or 97?
I don't know.
It was the last recession that we went through. It was a real bad one. 2005. Yeah, it was 2007.
Oh yeah, the housing crisis. Yeah.
Yes, I we end up having to shut the door at our store, but I didn't tell my wife everything that was transpiring through, the business closure and everything. So we got caught up in that housing thing, and we almost lost our house. I didn't say anything to her. I was trying to fix this thing by myself. And that's one thing I'll never do again.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
going to try to
called me. I was hot, Dr. Boyce. I was
Really?
like, oh, the lady talking about, oh, your mortgage payment is past. I said, no, that can't be. That's not true. We're never late. And then the lady even knew I was upset on the phone, and he's standing there. You poor thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. He just looked at me, and the lady said, Miss Brooks, I know you're upset. Just calm down. And then she said, this is what you owe and stuff like that. Because if he would have told me beforehand, I could have prevented that and helped that and paid all that. It wouldn't have been, such of a big deal. So, yeah, I think you better be just transparent is very important. Just say what it is, because none of us are perfect. We're not perfect in things that we do. In a marriage, it takes work.
Right. So
remember, just say it. Even if you're embarrassed about it, just say it.
It was pride.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like that was a tough time. I mean, it seems like a lot of couples struggle. It seems like two things that can really cause a lot of stress in a marriage would be maybe losing a child or having financial problems. And then there's all the other stuff in between, from infidelity and everything else. And, one of the things I can tell you that it seemed like I noticed with my own parents being married 47 years is, and I think there's a benefit to seeing that, that process, right? If I had not seen everything that they've had to overcome since the 70s,
right,
I wouldn't have a clue. I would think, okay, marriage is this place you go where you're happy every day and it's always sunshine and butterflies. And when the butterflies stop coming, you just walk away and go start over somewhere else. And I remember noticing just how much stuff they had to just kind of work through, let go of, deal with, overcome, confront.
Yeah.
It really is. It seems like it's heaven and hell at the same time. It's like it reminds me. You know what it reminds me of? And I'd like to get your thoughts on this. It reminds me of the first time I ran a marathon and how good I felt when I was done. But I look good because, look at me. I just finished the marathon and I got it on my wall. That looks good. But the way I felt when I crossed that finish line, I thought I was going to drop dead on that day. My body, I couldn't have went down to the end of the corner. I mean, I'd never felt that depleted in my life. And I'm almost wondering if that's how it feels after, doing all those years where you got the pride of saying, look, we held this thing together. We made it into something people can be proud of. But at the same time, maybe you're exhausted almost emotionally when you start going through all the things you overcame in order to get here.
Exactly.
So maybe you can speak to that.
Exactly. Yeah, but Dr. Boyce, my parents, that's all I saw. They loved the ground each other walked on. That's all I knew. And I don't even remember ever seeing them argue, but after all the everything transpired from when he got sick and things like that, yeah, you do get exhausted after so long in a marriage. You sometimes just the fussing and the fighting, you get exhausted. But the thing is, when you get exhausted, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to just stay exhausted? Are you going to step forward and build yourself up and build your family up? You have to really look at those things. You can't be so heady or high-minded think you're so good that you you can't really let go of your ways and what you're thinking to build up your family. You know, I think it's better. It's much enjoyable on the other side. All those arguments. I mean, we can laugh at them now, but it wasn't good. Slamming doors and then one sleeping on the couch, don't want to, get in the same room. That stuff, you get wore out on that stuff. And if you stay there and you start just really believing and just staying there, it'll cause even more problems, and it can cause actually separation and divorce and all those things like that, which sometimes it's just not worth it to just get divorced. It's just not worth it.
Okay, well, everybody who's watching, I'm sorry, Mr. Brooks.
No, okay.
I'm gonna tell everybody why we're here, and then Mr. Brooks, I definitely want you to take over at that point. Everybody, I'm talking to Mr. and Mrs. Veronica and Glen Brooks, and they are in a new film that was created by Tiara KJ Williams called "Til Death Do Us Part." And in this film, she speaks with some couples that have been married more than 30 years, the veterans, the marriage veterans that can really talk to you about what it really takes to build a family. You guys know in this space, we're into legacy building, empire building. This couple has 3 children, 8 grandchildren. That's legacy. They will never die. When you have a legacy, you will never die. Because your grandchildren and great grandchildren are going to carry the torch for you. And so 3 children, 8 grandchildren, that's going to be about probably 24 great grandchildren, probably maybe 100 great great grandchildren, and 200 to 300 great 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 grandchildren, right? And this is all going to happen after you're gone, right? So I want everybody to really understand that this is what it means to multiply your essence. This is what it means to live forever. It ain't about the here and now. It ain't just about you, me, and mine. It's about sort of all of us, and the fact that because these two, pay attention now, I need y'all to understand what I'm saying here. Because these two stuck it out, there's literally within the next 100 years, there's going to be over 100 people who will exist and who will remember their legacy because of the sacrifice they made and the contribution they made. That's what you call building, right? That's what I see. So, and everybody, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. I want to tell you all about where you can see the movie. Actually, we're going to show this movie to you for free. We want you guys to see it so badly that we took away the price. You don't have to pay anything to see our movie. It's totally free. Just come to Black Movie Night. It's going to be on Thursday coming up, the 22nd. And the Brooks are going to be there after we watch that first leg of the film. It's a 6-part series. And the first leg we're going to show on Thursday at 8 p.m. is totally free. Just bring your brain and be open-minded, and you got to love Black people. That's our cost of admission. If you fit the criteria, then you are welcome. Go to blackmovienight.net, and that's where you can register. Okay, so Mr. Brooks, you were about to say something before I jumped in so rudely. Please forgive me, sir. What was on your mind?
Oh, no, I was kind of, you had made it a point about that, building that legacy. I just wanted to add something to what my wife was saying. Throughout our years, we found ourselves, we didn't argue in front of our kids. That's one thing we did not do. We kept that between us. But what we did display to them was that the kisses and the hugs. And we had some exciting times with our kids. Our boys used to grow up and they used to see us kissing all the time. And to the point to where they say, "Oh man, please, mom and dad, please go somewhere. Go
get a room."
Yeah. Take it back in the room. That's what you did. Oh, mom and dad.
But what that led to our boys getting married young.
Yeah.
Our boys got married. I think our middle-aged son got married when he was 19. I think he was 19.
I don't know.
19.
But
we had one of our sons got married at age 18, and I think one got married at 23. I think it was 23.
Because they've been married like 14 years, I think.
And then we have our middle-aged son's been married. He's going on 19 years.
19 years.
19 years this December coming up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so your children, so pay attention now. I need everybody to listen. This is not just entertainment. We in class right now. We are learning from the master teachers in our community. I need y'all to really open up your brains right now. So what you're basically saying is that your children emulated what they saw their parents do. They saw their parents love each other. And so your son said, I want to find a woman to love the way my daddy loved my mama. And so I want everybody to kind of understand that power that you have to shape the minds of your kids. You are their first and primary teacher. You just have to embrace that role and know that that's the role you're playing. And I know that because I learned that from my father. The exact way I treat my wife is exactly what I saw with my father, in terms of how he dealt with my mother. My father is a very masculine man. He's a manly man, and we actually lived in Texas when I was a little kid, and he was in the military and everything else. And I just saw, I saw my dad. He was an interesting character. He, as you mentioned, he wasn't perfect. Like a lot of us, none of us are. When it came to my mother, I just saw a different side of him. I saw him just really honoring her. I saw when Christmas time would come and the music would be playing, the fires going off in the background, and he would just give her a nice fancy ring just because, and I just would just casually be seeing that, but that stuck with me. Like, okay, that's what you do with your wife. That's what you do with a woman that you love and admire and respect. And I feel like to some extent, in some parts, some spaces, we've lost a little bit of that. I wonder if I see in the chat people are mentioning when they started putting out movies portraying this role of like Superfly and the black man as a pimp and all these other things. And I wonder do you think it's crazy, weird, or old fashioned for me to think that that what you're doing is I'd like to see that maybe become the norm at some point. Like, how crazy am I to think that two people can really love each other and have a great family and not have all the chaos that we see in so many situations? What do y'all think about that?
Oh, I totally agree. I think that we definitely should see other couples so we can let others build, especially the younger generation. I know they have that what is it, polyamory thing or whatever it is, all these partners, but I still believe in just the one partner, the one spouse, husband and wife, man and woman. I truly believe that, and I truly believe that we can build so strong that it will pass all around this world, especially in our community.
Well, I love it too. And one other thing that was really interesting, I found it. I personally appreciate what you just said about not arguing in front of the children. I guess if you grew up like that, you think that's normal to not argue in front of the kids. Because I saw my parents argue one time, and I think it was 1982. That's how long ago it was. And literally around 1982. And I remember it stuck with me. It was very traumatic to watch them argue that one time. Now, years later, I found out that they had probably 1,000 arguments that we never saw, but they had the same rule. With the children, you have a united front. If you got something to argue about, you send the children out. It's not the child's place to be all up in the adult's relationship. And so I appreciate that. What do you think? I mean, do you think that there's something strange about that? I mean, what do you think about people who feel like that should all be aired out anywhere in front of the kids or whatever? Like, that's okay. I almost feel sorry for kids that they have to watch their parents argue. What do y'all think?
Oh yeah,
I think when I believe that when kids are developing, when their minds and they begin to build their identity and their character and things like that, I think if we infiltrate their growth of being a kid and having a normal kid's life, I think that kind of dramatically can change the course of their direction for their life in the future. Because I see it in my boys, and believe it or not, we have two sons that are one living here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm so proud of him because he loves his wife and he loves his kids.
Yeah.
He's returning. In other words, he's giving back to his kids what I gave to them. And I could see him 100%. I see myself in him every day. And I tell my wife all the time, I said, I'm proud of my boys. And I'm not saying that no one has, not proud of their kids. I just love to see what we instilled in them grow in fruition into a place of being great men. And they are lovers of their wives and lover of their kids.
Wow.
And my granddaughters, oh God. Me and My granddaughters are like this.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any daughters.
Yeah.
So my granddaughters, when they come over here, they number one.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry.
But
She
you know
number
what?
one.
But you know what? That's so. I don't know what it like. I was so close with my dad. It's like I don't know what that is with the girl and the dad. You know, it's like we close to the dad. You know, the mom's good
Right.
too. Awesome. I had my mom. Mom was awesome, but I don't know. It's just with that daddy. It's like when you have that dad, he's so, brilliant. He was teaching me how to think. He was teaching me how to play chess, and I didn't understand that he was teaching me how to think. I was like, Dad, we got to play chess again. And then, but he was teaching me how to think, but I don't know what it is with the daughter and the dad. It's always things that, the girls, the grandfathers and the
I mean,
granddaughters.
All my little bitty queens. That's what I call my babies. I love my grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I know everybody's not like that,
Yeah.
but
But if I was to do it all over again, Dr. Boyce Watkins, we'd have had about 30 kids.
No, we were
Well, I think you got to ask your wife first. Last time I checked, we're not the ones giving birth to those babies. Right? But then again, though, the world's changing. I think there's people out there that are now talking about men having babies and all that. I don't know nothing about that. But that's
that's a whole different. Yeah.
That's a whole other world in my view. But you know what? I tell you, it's I understand exactly what you mean. That relationship, that father-daughter relationship, I think is so critical, and it makes me real sad. My heart goes out to little girls that never have had that. Don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
me.
Right.
Me
too.
too.
And I think it's very important that I hope that the men that are listening understand how important their job is, and that the women understand how important the father's job is. How important because it seems that there are people that believe that the father is like optional. You plug in, plug it out, it doesn't really matter. But I thought about it in terms of thinking, what would happen to a household if the mother's not there? We can't even imagine a household without a mother. That we know that's dysfunctional. And I think that when the father's gone too, I think we got to really consider what that means also. So I love it. I think it's great. And I completely understand it. And I have the same relationship with my daughter. She's my, not my biological child, but she's my child. And you're right. There are things that the daddy ends up, because we just have our own little weird way of seeing the world. There's just things I'll talk to her about that her mama doesn't. Now, her mama teaches her everything about growing up, being a woman and everything. But I'm the one who says, okay, let's sit over and figure out how we're going to start a business. Here's how you make sure nobody take your money. Here's how you think strategically. Let's sit down and play some poker so we can learn how to think strategically. So I don't do the chess, but I do the poker, which is just like chess. Actually, it's very strategic, and that's what she picks up from me, and I see that play out in terms of how she engages with the world. So I think what you're doing is awesome. And I'll let you all get the last word. I've been doing way too much talking, I guess, because I'm so impressed and inspired by your relationship. And I hope everybody in the chat will take a moment and everybody put a hashtag Black Love. Put a hashtag Black Love in the chat because this is a loving conversation. We're talking about love. We're having good energy here. And that's what family looks like. That's what, to me, that when you talk about what it means to be Black, I think that we are people that are full of love. We love everybody. And I just want us to love ourselves and love each other as much as we love everybody else. And so just a reminder, and I'll let Mr. and Mrs. Brooks get the last word. Don't forget that they are the stars of a new film. Our company's been working on this film for a couple of years, and we're not charging you a penny to watch it. Just come out to the event so you can learn from what you see. It's called Til Death Do Us Part, directed by Tiara KJ Williams out of Hollywood. She's done several movies with us, and they've all been done very well. And we're not charging you anything. We thought about what price to charge, and we said, no, we don't want there to be anything stopping you from getting what you need, because everybody in here, I hope you agree with me when I say we got to prepare our families. We have to be very conscious about it. We got to prepare our wealth. We got to prepare our families. We got to prepare our community, because the family is the foundation to the community. You cannot build a wealthy, prosperous community with a lot of broken families. It's just not. It's never been done. It's never done anywhere else in the world. It ain't gonna be done here. So show up. It's Thursday night, July 22nd. Totally free. The film's called Til Death Do Us Part. Go to register at blackmovienight.net. The URL's on the screen. Share this with anybody else in your family. Bring your whole family. It's going to be a great event. So let me ask you this. I saw Dr. Brooks. Now, which one of you is Dr. Brooks, and what are you a doctor in?
My husband put that on there because I had I got a doctor's in it's theology, actually.
Really?
And,
theology, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it was, I don't know why you put it, because I never call myself that, even though that's the title, what they, when you get your certificate and all those things like that. But
I think that's good that he put it in there. Because it sounds like me and Mr. Brooks are similar, because I do that too. Yeah, because my wife is also humble like you, Dr. Brooks, and she won't give herself the applause. And normally, the men, we got our egos and we want to be the man and be somebody. So our women will go out and talk about how great their husband is. But sometimes as men, we forget to do that for our wives. Like when you work hard for something, we should be the first one standing out there saying, I'm cheering for you. I want to see you succeed. I'm proud of you. So I'm proud of you too, Dr. Brooks. Please continue.
Yeah, it's in humanities, because I deal with a lot of people. And, I really love my community because I when I grew up, I didn't know too much about my own community, because I grew up in a whole nother different people that doesn't look like us at all. But I'm grateful for actually Tupac when he left his documentary. And then, all the others like you and Dr. Claude Anderson. I think I have everything about you, Dr. Boyce. I got everything. I got everything.
I am flattered.
Because you really love us. You really love the community. You really, I never seen so much love like that. And I said, man, we have to do something too for our community, just the way, you were doing. So you are that prime example for us. So my husband, he put the doctor on there, and I'm really humble. I just don't never say it. Actually, I just say, call me Veronica, that's fine.
And I threw doctor on there for a reason, because she is my doctor.
Oh, okay. I like that.
So, and one thing about me, I've learned over the years, I'm going to give her crown and whatever it takes. So if I call a doctor, I call her queen, I call her everything, because she's very special to me. And Dr. Boyce, I wanted to share this also. Over our years, over through the years of our marriage, I used to do things, like I said, it wasn't scheduled. I used to do those just because. And I remember days my wife would come home, and this when we were meat eaters. We used to eat meat. We vegetarians now, or pescatarians. But what happened, I'll have a steak dinner cooked out with the candles on the table. Yeah. I used to do that a lot.
I remember that. Oh God, that was like so nice.
I would cook for her. I'll throw down. And, and if she came home, I mean, at one point we were both working because we owned our own computer store. And then when she came home, I didn't want her to come into the kitchen and start cooking. I took care of all that for her. So when she got home, all she had to do was sit back and relax, kick her shoes off. And I used to enjoy doing that.
Yeah, so, I remember that. Yeah, so it's so amazing.
So I served her as well as she served me for the years that I've been in service, as well as the things I used to do for our business.
Yeah. Wow. That came to communication.
Are one or both of you in the military or retired from the military?
I was actually military. I did 24 years.
Oh, what branch?
Navy.
Oh, thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And she was there, and that's what I love her so much. I mean, she spent her 24 years. She was 100% my backing, and I know I couldn't have done it without her, because there was a point in my life I reached my halfway mark. I think it was about 10 years.
Yeah.
I was in Beeville, Texas. I was getting out. And then my wife said, baby, she said, you're halfway there. And I think just by her saying that, it made me girdle up my pants and tighten my belt up. And I said, I love it. And I never, ever had to worry about my wife cheating on me. I mean, that's how deep our love was. And it still is today. And I did the extra years. I went on, did my 24 years.
But you were awesome. You did a good job, too. You did a really good job.
And so after I retired, I was 100% behind her.
Yeah, because I'm in the federal government Department of Defense in the acquisition arena. What they be talking about on the news, contracting.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, I love it. And I am so inspired by both of you. And I hope that everybody in the chat is as inspired as I am. Say something in the chat. You know, let Mr. and Mrs. Brooks know how much you appreciate them and respect them for everything that they've shared, all the wisdom they've shared. And I just want to encourage everybody, you know, when you want to learn how to do something that's going to make your life better, learn how to do it from the people that have done it. You cannot fake 38 years of marriage. That you can't talk your way around it. No amount of talking in the world is a replacement for putting in 38 years. That's a marathon. That is a lifetime of commitment. And that's what strong communities look like. Strong communities start with strong families, and I hope everybody will express their appreciation to the Brooks. And also, we're going to show the film Til Death Do Us Part. The Brooks are among the several couples that we feature in this film. Again, we've spent 2 years on this movie, so I'm super excited about releasing it to you guys. And we decided that we weren't going to charge you anything. We just want you to show up, and we want you to love yourselves and love your people. We want you to just kind of, you know, at least be open-minded enough to get away from the stuff that you're seeing out here. This stuff is not healthy. Y'all see it everywhere. You see, you know, I live in Chicago, and I'm sorry, I'm not bringing the negative stuff in, but I mean, we have over 100 people shot every week. You know, little children being killed. Fatherless communities. I mentor children. I asked one of the little girls. I said, "How many of your friends have a daddy in the house?" And she said, "None." Not one single one of her friends even knows, you know, the value of having a father or what that would even look like. And so you feel like you feel it's almost like maybe how it might feel like growing up in a crack house or something, you know, just or just a crazy environment where what is this? And everybody's acting like it's normal. And I wanted to reach out to couples like this because in my view, I want y'all to hear this from me. These are my heroes. These are the superheroes for me. I'm not people that got big YouTube channels or big, famous rappers, you know, that are out, you know, just rapping about whatever. My heroes are the people like the Brookses, because that's what y'all are like my parents. That's what I was raised under. And some of y'all know this, and I want you all to be very diligent about understanding who you are and what you believe in, what you're committed to. Okay. All right. So I want to say thank you very much to Mr. and Mrs. Brooks. I really enjoy
it is our pleasure, and thank you for just even the support of everything that you have done just to produce this movie. I really appreciate you, and I'm so grateful and honored that you just took that time just, you know, to help us to get out there and help other Black families as well.
Well, thank you so much, and the honor's all mine. And the way I see it is, I see it the same way y'all see it with the grandkids and everything. We're just doing our job. Everybody, we all got a job to do. Mr. Brooks, you a Navy man. You understand what it means to complete a mission. And Dr. Brooks, you know, you've earned all these educational credentials and all the great things you've done in your life. And we all have a job to do. And that's how you make the team better. If we really are team Black people, we all got to
right.
Ain't no slackers in here. We need all hands on deck. So God bless both of you. And by the way, the film is called Til Death Do Us Part. It's directed by Tiara KJ Williams out of Hollywood, and it's a great movie. It's 6 parts, totally free. Thursday night, June 22nd. Go to blackmovienight.net. If you could, everybody in here, please give me a yes if you can agree to do this one thing for me. Please take this link, take this video, and share it with family members and anybody else. that would like to understand the secrets of maintaining healthy relationships, just share it on your social media. Give me a yes in the chat if you could do that for me, because we need y'all to be our distribution. We don't have, corporate America ain't going to put money behind stuff like this. The government doesn't put money behind stuff like this. Other people don't put money behind stuff like this. This was our money. We put our money into this. I reached in my pocket. We paid the production costs, got this movie done because we want the community to see something that's going to make us better. Family is everything. Connecting is everything. Love is stronger than hate, and we're going to love the hell out of each other no matter what it takes.
That's right.
So thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Brooks. God bless you.
All right.
God bless you.
Love
Thank
you, man.
All right. And everybody, please have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.